I think this is the round that you are tested the most. Semi. Because final is just you going all out.
Yeah.
But semi, you have to conserve your energy for final, but at the same time you have to go through. I give the game Joe. The legend he's number 3.
Johan Blake next, no final.
Yeah.
Even nigga monkey kid.
Yeah.
Nice hamstring.
Hamstring? Really?
Yeah. He was even laying on the floor.
Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it's the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with an episode of the TrackInsider ZA. I'm unfortunately alone today. Episode 20. Welcome to the only athletics show in the world. Welcome to the first ever athletics show or athletics talk show in the world that has ever been created by us, hopefully. But anyways, as you've seen the clips that were before me coming on, before this clip, we actually what happened was we came together on Sunday, me and Thappies, and I thought I was not going to talk about this, but I'm actually going to talk about this. We sat down, and I remember I recorded like for 9 minutes, and we were just watching some athletics action at Tokyo because we met up at around 12 p.m. Central African time, South African time. We met up, we watched some athletics at the Olympics, and while we were doing that, we were preparing for the show. So I just wanted to capture our live reactions to some of the events. So as that is happening, now we're about to start the show. We're about to really record. So I stopped the other recording, I listen, I check if the sound is really working. It has been ongoing for 9 minutes. Check the sound if it's working. We do sound tests every week. Okay, the sound is okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's record. So I don't know what happened. We sat down. We were into an episode. You know, I'm like 35 minutes. We actually saw the 100 meters men's semifinals live. You could see the women's 100-meter hurdle semifinals, and that was day 3 of the athletics at the Olympics, and that's what happened. But look, after shooting, Thappies shows me the backup sound card. We were not recording. I then checked this visual. I was like, no, you know what? We actually have visuals and audio from this phone. When we checked, there was nothing. So yeah, we did not press the record button. It was really unfortunate, but I've been there before where we lost content and I think I shot again. Yeah, I shot again. And yeah, this time around we were supposed to shoot this morning. Unfortunately, something happened. So yeah, Thappies couldn't be with us, unfortunately. I wish him all the best of luck with what he's doing now. And it's I don't know, man, it's a private thing, and hopefully he will be all okay. But this is what we focused on, the news that we got probably before the Olympics or when the Olympics were on, you know, the athletics were on. Firstly, we got, and we dealt with this yesterday, so I'm really reading from yesterday, but I will cover maybe the bits and pieces of day 4. So this is like an Olympic edition episode where we will also be talking mostly about the Olympics. Yeah, all about the Olympics, or athletics at the Olympics. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, actually, I think last week, just before the athletics started, he came out publicly, or rather made a decision that he wouldn't focus or go for the double, but only for the 1500. I think that's a good decision from him. He's coming from an illness that kept him out for like 2 weeks. So, you know, he was just building. The first race that he had was the Monaco Diamond League, and he did actually well, you know, at 330, I think, which is good enough maybe to place him 4th, 3rd at that time. So we don't know his fitness now. We don't know what he can do now. We'll probably see him actually at the next session, which is day 4. So you guys will be seeing this episode just after seeing that session. So it's the morning session in Tokyo, which is the session, I think it's session number 8. Yeah, it's session number 8 where we'll be seeing the session number 9. Whoa, I'm behind, man. It's session number 10 actually. It's session number 10 on the 3rd of August on a Tuesday. So he's going for the 1500 meters. All the best. Good luck for him. Good luck to him. Blessing Okabare. These are news that were probably a bit shocking disturbing and a bit unfair, a bit unfair because she tested positive for growth hormone, and this was out of competition testing or out of competition usage. And the results, I don't know if the results or the suspension came through last week, just before she could compete at the Olympics. Number one, the reason why I say it's unfair is because if it's out of competition, then it was probably, last year or earlier this year. Okay, I'm thinking that they left it till this point to announce the suspension, but maybe that's the procedures, those are the processes that the AIU had to follow to get to this ruling. She's suspended, surely pending a case, also a hearing, to maybe say that she did not do it or something like that. I don't know, but the description of it and what's happening, the detail is a growth hormone. Growth hormone is basically what is a hormone that's secreted by maybe your I'm forgetting the certain part of the body, the specific part of the body, but that part of the body secretes growth hormone, and growth hormone contributes to the growth of your body, your muscles, your bones, and everything that needs to really naturally grow in your body. So some people take growth hormone because maybe they have growth hormone deficiency, which is the likes of Lionel Messi has had it. A different number of athletes maybe have had it, but usually this is medication that people use at a young age and not at a later age. And it's actually a banned substance in the world of athletics, in or out of competition. So she was found with that or traces of that, maybe in a blood test or urine test, and she's unfortunately suspended. It came as a shock, but it was really disappointing. I mean, I would also be disappointed if I would get this news just before the Olympics. Bad news again for Nigerian athletics. It's not only Blessing Okakbare, but the Nigerian Track and Field Federation was not able to follow some certain procedures and processes to make some athletes eligible. So 10 athletes face an unfortunate, really, you get to the Olympics, you hear that, okay, you cannot compete because the management team failed you. It sucks, it's sad. I don't wish it upon anyone, But unfortunately, those 10 athletes, a young Favor Philly, from the LSU, she's promising, she's young, she was going to do well at the Olympics, unfortunately cannot compete because there are some certain procedures that the management team did not follow, the processes that led to now them not being eligible to compete at the Olympics. It's sad, man. It's a sad reality. I think I posted it last week. I said these Olympics are a bit toxic, and that was just after the next news we have Sam Kendricks testing positive for COVID. I said it to Thappies yesterday when we were shooting that all these athletes are 100% healthy, if they were eating well, if they were training well, if they were looking after themselves. They're all 100% healthy human beings if they have no underlying health issues. So now it's so sad when someone is healthy but just tested positive. They're not really ill. They're not feeling bad or anything like that. It's just okay, but they just tested positive. But it's the rules. Rules are rules. When you test positive, you are out of the Olympics, or at least out for those 10 days. And maybe just after those 10 days or 14 days of quarantine, you can actually go back to your competition. But Sam Kendricks, pole vaulter from America, I think he was the bronze medalist or silver medalist at the last Olympics, but he was a medalist at the World Champs, second at the World Champs or first. Unfortunately, cannot compete. He was a medal contender, as much as Mondo Duplantis has been dominating pole vault for possibly these 2 years. Sam Kendricks could have done something, man. He could have pushed him, but yeah, it's sad. Again, some sad news for Nigerian athletics or track and field. Divine Odiduru's disqualification. A lot of people in the track and field community felt it was unfair that he was disqualified, and they don't know why. I was asleep. I'm not gonna lie, I was asleep. I didn't see this. I think it happened in the early morning hours. I was asleep, but it seems like Zanel Hughes was left, and this was in the 100 meters. I will get to the 100 meters where, some disappointing stuff happened in the 100 meters. Yeah, the next news are actually the 100-meter news. And this was the news we had at day 2 or day 3, where Trayvon Promo almost went out of the qualifying rounds, almost went out of 100 meters at the qualifying rounds. It was shaky for him. Unfortunately, by now we know the news that he didn't actually go to the final, but I don't know what happened. We'll get to that. RG Wilson did not qualify for the 800 meters women's final. She placed 4th in her semi-final with a time of 2:00.79. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, it's just what's happening. Athletics is being athletics, and it's really not too good. And yeah, the other bad news we had was a South African in the long jump final, which we saw the long jump. Winning the long jump was Tenteglu, which I predicted that he would finish 3rd. He's the Greek athlete, you know, he's from Greece. Tenteglu has been really in form, just good form for him to get a medal, you know, and he was consistent in his performances. Obviously, Juan Miguel Escavaria finished 2nd, and the Cuban guy Masso also finished 3rd. So Cuba has 2 guys on the podium. Tenteglu has taken the gold, you know, and not by surprise for me. You know, I expected him to finish in the medal places 3rd, but he actually finished 1st. Now, to good news that we probably had at that time. Sok Zazin at that time had qualified for the semi-finals at the Olympics. And for the 400-meter hurdles, the men's hurdles, he ran a 49.51 season best in the heat. And in the semi-finals now, he ran a 48.98. Yeah, I think it's a 48.99. He did well, you know. He was in Custom Walloms. I think it was in Rai Benjamin's heat, but going to the semi-final, he was in Custom Walloms' heat, Rai Benjamin's heat, and Thapelo's heat. So unfortunately, he didn't go through to the next round, which is the final. And I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, it has to be tomorrow. It's exciting. It's an exciting final. 12 local South African time. I think they will have to win it with a world record, but at the same time, I don't think they can really push it that far. But they've done it, and they can, you know. And I've also said Rai Benjamin looks like the guy that's going to win it. I'm not sure now. You know, it's a bit tricky, but Rai Benjamin looks smooth. Rai Benjamin looks fantastic. You know, to other good news, there was finally the first ever medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, the track and field medal, which was the 10,000 meters final. Solomon Barega won it. 21-year-old won it. Joshua Cheptegei finished 2nd. Jacob Kiplimo 3rd. Guys, please don't mind my nose and maybe my voice, because I was really hit by a hard session today. And I think I'm catching some cold, blocked nose and all that stuff. But yeah, Solomon Barega of Ethiopia, well done to him. I've been, you know, a supporter of Solomon. I've been someone who's been rooting for him. You know, I've looked out for his performances. I've wanted to see him do well. You know, he unfortunately did not get gold at since the youth championships in 2017 in Kenya, Nairobi. He went to the World Championships in 2018. He then went forth to go to numerous competitions like the World Cross Country Championships. Did not get a medal. World Champs 2019, nothing. Finally, Solomon Barega wins the 10,000 meters men's final, gets a gold for Ethiopia, 27:43.22. You know, and Joshua Cheptegei finishing 2nd. Yeah, he didn't look like he was the fittest guy with the past races, but going into these Olympics, definitely it was unpredictable. He got a season best as well. Jacob Kiplimo, young guy from Uganda. Look out for him in the 5,000 meters. Yeah, and the next things we had was the men's 800 meters, where all the men, or the favorites, actually qualified for the semifinals. And then something happened in the semifinals. Nigel Amos, Isaiah Jewett. I think Nigel Amos tripped Isaiah Jewett, and they both fell, both finished late. They both did not qualify at that point. Botswana went on and appealed, and Botswana, I think, won the case. Nigel Amos was reinstated a place in the final. You know, but I've heard someone saying Isaiah Jewett might be injured, and this is why he's not going to the final, but they would have reinstated both their places in the final. So that's unfortunate. It was an interesting one. Definitely interesting one. Oh yeah, guys. I just went out to blow my nose. yeah, where was I? I was talking about all the men in 800 meters, the favorites. Unfortunately, Bryce Hoppel, you know, went out. Not a good one. I was rooting for him, but he went out. Anyways, the three sprinters of South Africa qualified for the semi-final. History in the making, or not even history in the making. That was history made. Gift Letlhogonolo, Shaun Maswanganyi, and Akani Simbini qualified for the semi-finals, but the semi-finals was really tricky. Shaun unfortunately fell out short of a place in the final. Gift pushed, I think it was third in the semi-final, but he hampered with something. It looked like his hamstring or his calves. I don't know what it specifically is, but you know, something was bad there. Akani qualified as the fastest loser to go into the final. We will talk about that final as much as we'll talk about the women's 100-meter final. And then what happened? The 400-meter SA men, they suffered in the heats. They went out in the heats. I'm talking about Thapelo and Zakitinene. Wade did not look good in the heats, but I thought he was saving some energy. You know, I thought he was conserving something there. He was possibly just saving something for the semi-finals and the finals. But unfortunately, did not qualify for the finals. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Olympic champion, the world record holder, Wade van Niekerk, did not qualify for the 400 meters men's final. It's unfortunate. I think it's a big deal. But look, it has been a crazy time for him building on. And now we have question here. Was the move to the US a wrong one? Is it quick to question it? Is it quick to judge it? I think let's give it time. Maybe next year at the World Champs, then we'll maybe see if the move to Lance Promen was a good one or a bad one. We'll have a discussion about that or not, but we'll definitely have a lot of discussions about such things moving forward. Talking about women's 100-meter final, I spoke about it before. It was, I don't want to lie, man, it was just a beautiful race. Didn't expect it. My bet actually lost money. My bet was on Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce with Shakira Richardson out of the picture. I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce going into that final, second woman, fastest woman ever of all time, second fastest time, I think in the 100 meters, or the fastest woman alive at that time, was the one who was looking good, looking as favorite to take it. But through the qualifying rounds, Elaine Thompson-Herah was looking good. You know, Elaine Thompson-Herah was looking fast, looking like she means business. And she really did mean business. Came through in the final, won with a 10.61. Yeah, it was, I think she took it from the start, you know. And the minute she took it from the start, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce usually has a good start. When Elaine Thompson-Herah matched that start, it was really tricky. They went out hard. Unfortunately, Elaine Thompson coming from that maybe drive phase to that knee lift, now moving your back up and really moving, working on those knees. The transition was good. There's someone disturbing me, but it's okay. What's poppy? We will talk. Sure. Yeah. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was second with a time of 10.74. Amazing for her, you know. Pocket rocket, well done. I think maybe it's time to call it quits. Maybe one more championship, like the World Championships next year. Yeah, and then we will look at maybe I think so. Shelly-Ann looking at just calling it quits, you know. But she has done so well, and it's crazy because how can she call it quits while she ran her PB this year? But yeah, it's tricky. And then the Jamaican ladies made it a clean sweep for Jamaica, a podium sweep with Sherika Jackson finishing third with a time of 10.7 as well. 0.76, yes, 0.76. I think from a 400-meter athlete, and then she said she's focusing on the 200, but ran the 100 at the Olympics. She did well. She did fantastic, finishing third. Well done to the Jamaican woman. And how ironic, just after, you know, people are making jokes about Jamaican sprinting and are saying Jamaican sprinting is dead. The women from Jamaica did this. Well done, Jamaican excellence. You guys are showing us the Jamaican sprints. It's still alive. And alive to a point whereby the Jamaican hurdlers, the women hurdlers, and the male hurdlers are doing amazing. The women did amazing to get to the final. There was 2 women from Jamaica in the women's 100-meter final, or hurdles final. And Megan Tapper actually finished 3rd, you know, and I think Brittany Anderson was the other one in the final. Young athlete, bright future ahead, you know, keep your head up high. You're still going to do amazing. And that final, Kendra Harrison, the world record holder, she was looking good, finally qualified for the Olympics. She got 2nd, you know, to Jasmine Camacho Quinn. I mean, she was on a different level. Guys, let's not lie. You know, Jasmine Camacho Quinn was looking good the entire year. And she delivered. You know, she delivered. She was consistent. 12.26 in the semifinals. You know, I think that was the fastest time at the Olympics to qualify for the final. And she finally did it. From a tragic 2016 at Tokyo, she fell at Tokyo, couldn't finish the race. Now to finishing as first place, taking the gold medal. Another interesting thing, beautiful news about a gold medal is the men's high jump event. You know, Mutaz Esapashim and Tamberi of Italy actually decided not to have a jump off. They had a clean jump record until 2.37 meters. Ladies and gentlemen, a door is 2 meters. You can only imagine another 37 centimeters. They had a clean record, jumped the same, brilliant, amazing, good competition. That high jump had good competition. So they came to a point whereby they were tied at the same mark. The officials, the rules are you ask them if they want to go for a jump off. If there's no jump off, therefore, the both of them can say we want to share the gold. And first time in history in the long jump, the men were tied at first and they both took gold. You know, it was a beautiful scenes, amazing. And I said it's bigger than the marks or the heights or the lengths or even the time. You know, it's bigger than that. It's the Olympic spirit. It's the Olympic gold that you understand. Say I was in the same position, I would have taken the same decision. Well done to the guys. We love it. We are happy. Sifan Hassan. She's tripling, going for the 5,000, 1,500 and the 10,000. She has already won one, which is the 5,000 meters. I mean, it was this afternoon. I was at training. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch, but just wanted to speak about it. That congratulations to her, man. She's attempting something I would never think she would do. You know, I said she could get a gold medal at 1. I thought it was the 10,000. The 10,000 is on the last day. So that's also going to be interesting. She won the women's 5,000 meter final just after running the 1,500 meters women's semifinals, or it was the qualifying rounds. Yeah, it was the heats. The heats, and she fell in the heats. She fell, guys, and actually finished first. I also didn't see the heats. I was dead, guys. I was dead. Unfortunately, you know, Mondays are the days, the workout days, so I need to rest. I was dead. I was asleep. And then when the women's 5,000 meter final happened, I was also at training. So she won that final. Helen Obiri, which I predicted to finish first, was second. Gudaftsege of Ethiopia, well done, a medal at the Olympics. She looked good at the 1,500 meters indoors, but unfortunately did not qualify at the trials. She got third. So it's Sifan Hassan, Helen Obiri, and Gudaftsege. Just as I predicted in the medal places, but it's just that Sifan Hassan topped them. You know, good, well done to her. She has the 10,000 meter final, but the 1,500 meter final to get to first. I'm looking forward to that. It's definitely going to be exciting. Has something to it that says it's gonna be a shock. There will be a shock. I think Hassan is onto something, man. I think Hassan is onto something. Let's talk about the 100 meters now. The reason why I'm saying the 100 meters for me was I wanted to leave it possibly at this point is I it just showed me that athletics is something else. Hey, it reminded me of the unpredictable nature of the sport. And it's not only that, it's different events as well happening at these Olympics. You know, some athletes are not qualifying for finals. Some athletes are not even qualifying for semi-finals. I'm talking big names, you know. It's just the reality of what happens at big stages, at big levels of athletics. Anything can happen. As you can be the world leader, as you can be the fittest person in that heat or the fastest, you can still lose if you lose that focus, if you lose that drive. I've been looking at these Olympics, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you actually have to go all out from round number 1 till the final. So if you are not willing to do that, if you are mentally switched off, you will suffer. Athletes suffered. I was even thinking that the US athletes are probably flukes at these Olympics, but it's not that. You know, you guys are not flukes. It's just that it's tough. It's tough, and people are ready for the toughness. It's actually what happened in the 100 meters. Su Bingtian, semifinals, shocked the world, went 9.84 with a new personal best, new national record, new Asian record. He's looking good. People out there are saying he might win it, he might win it. And I'm still going for Andre de Grasse at this point. Trevin Bromel suffers at the semifinals, he did not qualify. In the final, something I would never predict this. Jacobs of Italy. I mean, I don't know what to say. I did not know what to say. We went live on, what do you call this? We went live on Instagram to have the possibly the live reaction show. I think my face said it all, man. I was bitterly disappointed at what was happening with Akani Simbini because he's finishing out of the medals for the 3rd time in a major competition. It's sad, you know. I predicted that he was going to finish 3rd. I wanted him to finish 3rd, but unfortunately he did not. That's the sad reality of athletics. The world number 1, Trevin Bromel, did not even get to the final. Someone who people have been saying, you made a dumb choice by switching to the 100. Fred Kelly finishes 2nd. Andre de Grasse, I think, let's give this man the flowers that he deserves, man. He definitely pulls up at major competitions. A new personal best, 3rd place. Well done to him. I think he's also a force to be reckoned with in the 200 meters. He's definitely going to do well for himself. I am rooting for him in the 200 meters. If no one else is going to do the same things that maybe Trevin Bromel did or something along those lines, then he's going to suffer. And he's going to give it to some athletes. There's something just happening. The unpredictable nature of athletics is showing itself. But it's what really makes the sport. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's unpredictable. You can think about something, but it won't happen. Like we said when we were doing the prediction video, whatever we predict might not even happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was confused, but it's athletics. You know, it's athletics, and well done to those that did well. I'm closing the show. The men's 1500 meters, you will see that. The women's 400 meters, women's long jump final, men's 200 meter final coming in on Tuesday, you know. And on Wednesday, I think we have the decathlon starting. Yes, well done to every athlete that has won a medal. Well done to everybody. Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it has been the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with another episode of the TrackInsider ZA. I say goodbye.